BMW have just revealed 3 new electric cars, which are all called, people are saying, affordable. They're saying there's got 3 new affordable electric cars are now coming from BMW. Is this actually true? No, they're not really affordable, but they're certainly much cheaper than they were before. Much more compelling. And they're also saying BMW have just revealed an EV that they believe will be better than a Tesla Model Y. And it's also well priced at a very low price. In fact, it's the cheapest electric SUV that BMW have ever revealed. Is this actually true as well? Well, let's have a look at the facts. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. BMW, 3 new electric car models. They're actually pretty good, I've got to say, for the price. I don't think I've said that before about BMW. I've criticized some of their prices. They have an electric M3 Series, BMW 3 Series in China. It's a joke because it's a gasoline-powered car. They just removed the engine, turned it into an EV. The thing weighs as much as a pickup truck, but it's a 3 Series, BMW size. It's ridiculous. But these 3 EVs, they're all proper EVs. They're built from the ground up as an EV, so they're not a joke like that car and some other BMW EVs that have come out in the past, which people have stupidly bought because they didn't do any research. But I can say that I wouldn't mock you if you bought one of these EVs. The new BMW iX1 is the car that BMW and many analysts are saying is going to take on the Tesla Model Y. It's amazing value. People are going to buy it instead of the Model Y. Now, is it good value? Well, for a BMW, it's good value, no question. However, is it truly a competitor to the Tesla Model Y? Well, it starts at around $78,000 here in Australia. You guys in the US, I believe it's going to be about $55,000 US. It's a bit more expensive, a little bit more expensive than a Tesla Model Y. The cheapest Tesla Model Y, in fact, is about 10,000 Australian dollars less. So that's about $6,500 US less, and it's a much bigger car. In fact, the new BMW iX1 is almost identically sized to the BYD Atto 3. Now, this would be like me saying something like, my van is going to beat your pickup truck. It's not really an apples for apples comparison. It's just something the media like to do in order to create drama, to create fake news that gets you excited and makes you go, whoa, BMW, whoa, what's going to happen with Tesla? But the truth is, my friends, it's a great car. It's just not a Tesla Model Y rival. It's much more, it's significantly more expensive, and it's significantly smaller. Now, is it worth your time considering? I think it is, actually. So are the other 2 EVs that BMW have revealed because they've significantly improved them and the price has come down. So what are the other models? Well, first of all, the BMW iX1 eDrive 20, bit of a mouthful to say, but that's what it's called. That's that affordable SUV. Well, for BMW prices, it's affordable anyway. Then you've got the i4 eDrive 35, and then you have the iX3 M Sport. Now, the iX3 is a closer sized vehicle to the Tesla Model Y. So that actually may rival the Tesla. So how big is it actually? Well, it's 4,734 millimeters long. Tesla's a little bit longer, and it's got a much bigger boot space. But in general, the cars have an approximately similar size on the outside. However, that model starts at the base price of 86,000 Australian dollars, probably around about 57 to 60,000 US dollars. So it costs around 20,000 Australian dollars more than the cheapest Tesla Model Y, and it's approximately 14,000 US dollars more than the Model Y in the US. Now, is it worth your time considering? For sure, absolutely. If you're a big BMW fan, then it's actually good to know you've now got some choice where you won't be laughed at or told, why'd you buy that car? That's stupid. It doesn't have good range. You got ripped off. Now I think these are actually pretty decent cars. Now, that said, you can't get them right now at your dealership. So I wouldn't be running down to your dealership saying, hey, I want to order one of these. Which one what colors have you got? You have to wait a little while, probably around 6 months for most countries to get these EVs. Now, the X1 eDrive 30, I have a bit of trouble saying that for some reason. But anyhow, it has 150 kilowatt, around 200 horsepower and 247 newton meters of torque from its single motor in the rear of the car. And it has a 67 kilowatt hour battery pack, not a lithium iron phosphate pack, of course. BMW doesn't really use those. Has a lithium ternary battery pack. I believe it's an NCM chemistry, so nickel, cobalt, and manganese. It has a range of 475 kilometers on the WLTP cycle. If you want to get the dual motor version, that has 400 kilometers of range. Now, apparently you also get a 12-month subscription to ChargeFox included in the price. The i4 eDrive 35 is really a competitor for the Tesla Model 3. And this comes with a rear-mounted 210 kilowatts, so nearly 300 horsepower, 400 newton meter motor, and it draws current from a 70 kilowatt hour battery pack, which makes it a little bit less powerful than the i4 eDrive 40, which has 250 kilowatt and 430 newton meters and an 84 kilowatt hour battery pack. But that costs a bit more money. You're looking at about an extra $10,000 for that version of this car. Now, 0 to 100, it does it about the same time as the Tesla Model 3, around 6 seconds, and the range is 430 kilometers. So yeah, of course, Tesla Model 3 is a fair bit cheaper, and it has a range of 511 kilometers, meaning you will be giving up a bit of range, about 80 kilometers of range, but you do get a couple of features that some people really want, which is that digital screen in front of the driver plus a heads-up display. You can, of course, buy those aftermarket from Model 3, but most people don't want to do that. Now, you might be thinking, why am I even mentioning the Tesla Model 3? This is a BMW. This BMW is truly luxurious. If you actually compare the spec like for like, the Tesla comes with a higher level of standard specification. In fact, a fair bit higher. And reviewers have said that they believe that the BMW i4 electric and the Tesla Model 3 are actually pretty well on par in most areas when it comes to the experience of luxury, the experience of quiet driving. The suspension now has been improved in the Model 3. So I think they really are direct rivals. So if you're going to be looking at one of these, it's worth your time actually cross-shopping it with a Model 3. They're both pretty good cars now, I think. Now, that gets us to the BMW iX3. This was BMW's first mass-produced electric car. And the new entry-level M Sport variant costs 16,000 Australian dollars less than the previous cheapest version. It has the same 210 kilowatt, 400 newton meter powertrain as the iX3 mid-sized electric SUV. It also has a range of 461 kilometers from its 80 kilowatt hour battery, which means it can do 0 to 100 kilometers as well in 6.8 seconds. So let's have a look at the price breakdown here. BMW's iX1, the cheapest version, the eDrive 20, costs 79,000 Australian dollars, around about 55,000 US dollars. The xDrive 30 costs 85,000, so around about 60,000 US dollars. What about the i4? This is, of course, the Tesla Model 3 rival. This one costs $86,000 in its cheapest version. That's the eDrive 35, around about 60,000 US dollars. Then you can spend a bit more money to get the eDrive 40, which has more range and more power, 103,000 Australian. That one's about 65,000, 66,000 US dollars. Or you can get the M50. This one costs 134,000 Australian dollars. And that brings us to the third car here. Clearly the Tesla Model Y competitor. And this one costs 89,100 Australian dollars in its cheapest form. You can pay a bit more and get the iX3, which costs 105,000 Australian dollars, which is, around about 70,000 US dollars. Now guys, I'm really keen to hear, would you, if you're considering a Tesla or if you're considering a BMW, would you cross-shop these cars? Now, I really do think the iX4 and the iX3 are direct rivals to the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model Y. And I think when you're buying an electric car, there's not a whole lot of rivals in this segment right now. So they're both actually worth considering. But if you had the cash just sitting there, or if someone came along and said, hey, here's a bunch of money, buy an EV, buy one of these models, which one would you actually go and buy? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.